Yes, there's hope. It's never too late to find your ultimate relationship. I was married at 26, divorced at 29, remarried at 32, and divorced again at 50. After 2 failed relationships, I discovered the love of my life just before I turned 60. Carol and I actually met 3.5 years earlier, but in those 3 years, we progressed from being just friends to good friends, best friends, and finally confidants. Then one day, just like in The Wizard of Oz, our world changed from black and white to color, just like that. A truly magical moment less than 2 months before the start of my new decade. But I'm getting ahead of myself. When I got married the second time, I had a vision of the relationship I wanted, and it was deep and intense and totally focused. I lived a life of passion and wanted a woman of equal temperament to share that passion with me. My vision didn't include children, but we decided to have 2, largely because I'd grown up as an only child and didn't like it very much. Unfortunately, postpartum depression set in after the second birth, and it never went away. I didn't know what to do, except try to remove all the stressors from her life as much as I could. I focused on the kids. And that led us to leading 2 separate lives inside the family. And on the one hand, I was a happy and proud dad, but in the marriage, progressed from being just okay to being not happy, which is passive, to becoming unhappy, which is active. And I'd resigned myself to a less than happy life, but an actively unhappy life was not acceptable. And that's when I decided to leave after over 20 years together. I didn't realize it at the time, but while I'd gotten initially what I thought I wanted, a stunningly beautiful, smart, active, and outgoing woman, I didn't get what I needed most, an equal partner to share my sense of joy and wonderment. Most of my life, I've said that all I ever wanted was a good woman. Unfortunately, I never really defined what that meant to me most, an equal partner. Ironically, neither woman I married was one. And then when I started dating after my second divorce, I was attracted to some wonderful women and loved a few of them, but we weren't equal either. Since leaving my marriage in 2004, I've been on a self-improvement mission. And finally, at late 50s, I understood how I'd contributed to my failed relationships. Whatever it was that attracted me to a woman, being an equal partner didn't become a requirement until after the relationship started. Unknowingly, I set these women up to fail. It's like being attracted to a woman for her artistic talent, and then once you're in a relationship, realizing she's not right for you because you really wanted an athletic partner. So what is this equal partner? Well, equal partners lift each other up to be their best selves. Some days one partner lifts more than the other, but if the same partner does all the lifting, then they're not equal. And for me, that's when resentment would develop, respect would diminish, and I'd find myself no longer happy in the relationship. About 7 years ago, a former girlfriend introduced me to a book by Gary Chapman called The 5 Love Languages. It's a great book. The premise is that everyone has their own value system, and to reach or love someone the most effectively, you must do it the way they value most, not how you do. The 5 love languages are acts of service, quality time, gifts, affirmation, and physical touch. When Carol and I decided to date, I asked her to take the languages test to see what she valued most, and her top 2 in order were affirmation and physical touch. For me, it was physical touch and affirmation. And according to the book, we had great potential. Fortunately, the least important language for both of us was gifts, which is really kind of handy during birthdays and holidays. During most of our friendship, we were both in relationships with other people, but neither of us were particularly happy. Still, we honored our commitments. Over the years, we had many conversations. Some got rather deep, and most importantly, we discovered that we both value trust as the most important trait of a relationship. And that's probably because both of us had that trust violated. I found myself single many months before her separation, my best friend Carolyn tried to hook me up with her friends. She would tell me how, well, first she said, I just want you to be happy, just want you to be happy. But she would tell me how beautiful and accomplished a woman was and couldn't understand why I was never interested. Well, it wasn't about her at all, it was about them. Yes, they were beautiful and attractive and smart and all of that, but they were also younger. Too much younger. And apparently the thought that a man would actually want a woman close to his own age was too hard for her to grasp. But to me, shared life experience is crucial. If there's too great an age difference and I have to explain all my off-the-wall references in everyday conversation, it just doesn't work. That's no fun. So one day in a setting just like this, she cornered me and said, I have no idea what you're looking for in a woman. What do you want? Well, my honest answer just came out completely unfiltered, and with a flash of instantaneous foresight, I said, I want someone just like you. And I'd finally recognized that first and foremost, I wanted a woman that I respected as an equal. I think a lot of people let past relationships get in the way of building the ultimate relationship with their new partner. Jealousy, resentment, and a lack of self-confidence are the usual culprits. Plus, the longer history you have with other partners, the greater chance of those relationships getting in the way. Between the two of us, we've got over 50 years of marriage and 10 plus years of recent dating. Mine. And that's a lot of history. But we made a decision early on that every relationship we've had has brought us to where we are today. There's no reason for jealousy because if the past were so great, we would have stayed there. We decided that we had to let go of our preconceived ideas. You know, as we get older, we tend to think that we are set in our ways and can't do new things or try new things. That's just not right. And so we worked hard at being open-minded, and if we need to, we call each other out. You know, before I started working on this talk, I would have said that our relationship was rather effortless. But I've come to realize that we've actually spent a lot of time and work making it good. And we did it not after there were problems, like most do, but before there were any problems. So, what does this ultimate relationship look like? First, the age thing. I wanted a woman at least 50. I'll say that again. I wanted a woman at least 50. If, like I said, we have to explain ourselves, it doesn't work for me. Carolyn's 57, I'm 62 now. So she gets all my random references, and it's a wonderful thing. We share everything. There's ultimate trust, and it's safe to say anything. We maximize our precious time together. We have 6 TVs in the house, but we don't turn them on anymore, and it wasn't a plan, it just kind of happened like that organically. We actually find each other captivating, and so we talk about everything a lot. We cook together almost every night. I'm usually chef and she plays sous chef, or sometimes we reverse roles and I play sous. Food's always attractively plated, even leftovers. We've decorated my house together, making it our home. We eat by candlelight every night. There's always flowers in the house, and sometimes we eat in front of the fire as just another nice thing to do. We have a mantra that underlies everything we do now. It's no kids, no pets, no plants. We've had our families. We've thoroughly enjoyed raising our children, and we've paid our dues, but now we work hard and play hard, and the focus is on us. That said, we both love and respect our children. I've got 2 daughters, 25 and 27. She's got a 24-year-old son and a 27-year-old daughter who happens to be here today. We have another thing we say, that we're taking people with us. You know, we have to be careful how fast we went into this relationship because people are coming with us and they had no pre-knowledge. Neither do we actually, but despite the fact that we've been friends for 6 years and great friends for a lot of that time, our kids have only known us as a couple for less than 3. As for our romance, we like to say that we started in the middle. We built the foundation of a trusting and mutually respectful friendship, and we're apparently about the last to know how good it was or it could be. According to B.F. Skinner, a failure isn't always a mistake. Sometimes it's just the best you can do under the circumstances. The real mistake is to stop trying. I'm a very lucky man. Yes, I've had my fair share of failed relationships, but I learned from them by being open, completely honest, authentic, and vulnerable. And I think the key point is without an agenda, I now have my perfect, equal partner and my ultimate relationship. One last thought. This ultimate relationship I talk about seems to be rather visceral. It seems that no matter where we are or what we're doing, people engage with us. Strangers walk up and start talking. Waiters and managers in restaurants pull up a chair and have 20 and 30-minute conversations. It's crazy. But I also mentioned this idea of taking people with you and how it's affected both our kids and our friends. And it goes a little further than that. 11 days ago, Carolyn's ex, Joe, died. But in his last few weeks, he made it through one son getting married and another graduating from college. One of his last cognitive gestures was a series of toasts at dinner after the graduation. He looked around the table at 4 of his 5 children, his ex-wife and me, and said that we were all one family, all of us. And he raised his glass. How cool is that? Thank you.